First up on the teleconference is Ohio State sophomore quarterback Dwayne Haskins. Haskins set the Big Ten Conference single-season records for passing yards and touchdown passes this year, and leading the Buckeyes to an 11-1 record. Dwayne, thanks for joining us. If you could, give us some quick opening comments on playing in this week's Big Ten championship game, and then we'll open up the call for media questions.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm very excited about playing in the Big Ten Conference championship game. You know, we worked really hard throughout the season to be able to be in this moment. And we're looking forward to playing Northwestern, and looking forward to putting on a good show.
Thanks, Dwayne. Let's open up for questions from the media at this time.
If you'd like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Your first question is from Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yes, Dwayne, could you just kind of describe what A.J. Hill has meant to you guys and what he's like both on and off the field?
Yeah, KJ has been very pivotal for our offense this year, and he's been a key player. He does a lot of great things on the field and off the field. He's a smart player. He knows how to play receiver. He has very coverage savvy and very aware when he runs his routes. He has great hands. And, off the field, he's a jokester. He's a great guy, and one of my best friends on the team.
And in terms of the game, how much have you studied of Northwestern, and what are your impressions of their defense?
Yeah, I just got done watching film on Northwestern, and from what they look like, it was like a very stout, strong defense. They play very good football, a lot of zone coverage, and they don't make too many mistakes.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Thank you. No problem.
Your next question is from Evan Allen, USA Today.
Hi, Dwayne. One question. Can you sort of explain where you think you've made the most improvement as a quarterback this season?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing that I've improved on throughout the season is just being a leader of the offense and holding everybody responsible, knowing all the protections and picking up blitzes and taking off steps that are pivotal and important for quarterbacks to be successful. And I feel like I've gotten better with that every game, and gotten all the tools I needed through coaching, and then all the trust I've gotten from the players to keep getting better, and I feel like it's shown on the field.
And can you describe Paris Campbell as both a player and a person?
Paris Campbell is electrifying. He's really fast, crazy fast. He does a great job with being a leader on his team, and he sets a great example for the younger guys. He's a great person, great dad, and somebody that I look up to as a young guy growing up in this program. And, he's done a great job for our offense, making a lot of plays. And he's also a great person.
Thank you.
Your next question is from Mitch Stacy, Associated Press. Mitch, your line is open.
I'm sorry about that. Hi, Dwayne. Urban said today that he thought you had taken a huge step in your leadership development in the Maryland game when you started putting your pads down and running the ball. Did you recognize that yourself, or did your leadership progress come more slowly than that along the way?
I feel like I've always been a good leader. I just had to find different ways, different tools to continue to get better and be a great leader. So for me, throughout the season was finding different tools. It's when my first season started, so finding different ways to, be an effective leader, have guys rally around me. Running the ball is just one of them. So I not figured out, but I did a great job running the ball versus Maryland, and I'm showing that I can be able to, like Coach Myers said, put my pads down and make plays. So I definitely felt that gave the team an energy and, a certain type of, vibe for me, and definitely felt like they fed off that.
Thanks, Dwayne.
No problem.
Your next question is from Doug Mary's, Cleveland.com.
Dwayne, overall, we know that this Ohio State Urban Meyer offense has leaned on a running quarterback in the past years. Just overall, how do you think you and Ryan Day and Urban have done in terms of meshing your skill set as a thrower with their normal offensive plan? It's like you had to do some things, they had to do some things. Overall, how did you guys do making it fit?
I thought we did a great job making it fit all year, trying to find ways to still have a great running offense and a passing offense, and figure out how we can get down the field throws and get play action passes, and just trying to figure out how to be an effective offense is what we worked on all season. And Coach Day, Coach Meyer, Coach Wilson did a great job scheming up for me this year as the quarterback, knowing that I wasn't the same runner as JT was, and then allowing me to spread the ball around the way that I did this year. It was just a lot of fun.
Thanks, Wayne.
Your next question is from Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hi, Dwayne. Urban said yesterday that he was going to meet with the leaders and that he was going to be really hard on you guys this week, trying to make sure that you guys keep the right focus this week. Just what has his message been to you guys so far this week?
Yeah, just that Northwestern is a tough team. Yeah, we had trouble with them our freshman year when we played them, and that they're not going to back down because we're Ohio State. So we have to bring our A game first them, and we have to be firing on all cylinders. So for us to take them lightly and to have the same type of week of practice and work that we have done for the last couple weeks.
As a leader, what do you view as your role this week to make sure that the team does what it needs to do to prepare for this game?
Say one more time.
As a leader, how much responsibility do you feel to make sure that the team does what it needs to do to prepare for this game?
Yeah, that's for me. I just kind of watching film, so just being able to know what they're doing defensively, and making sure that I'm on all of my P's and Q's going into this week will mean the world for the offense, and knowing that I'll be able to help receivers and offensive linemen out of protections and in coverage as far as plays. So for me, just doing the same thing I'm doing all season, is just finding that way to have that edge versus the other team.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Your next question is from Ari Watson, The Athletic.
Yeah. Dwayne, I know that you guys have your goals still ahead of you and you're thinking about the future, but this year you have put up numbers and are probably the most legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate that Urban Meyer's had at Ohio State. And I was just wondering if you could give us some perspective of A, your accomplishments, B, how you got here, and C, what your thoughts might be in terms of where you stack up nationally in that awards race.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry. For me, the accomplishments this year have been great, and it just shows how much what we put in all season as far as with the receivers and the offensive line. It's been a blessing to be able to go out here and play the way we played, and I'm excited about all the stuff that we've done, the records that I've broken, but I'm more excited about winning the championship game and trying to find a way to beat Northwestern, and that's pretty much it.
Wait, are you taking any time to acknowledge that in your own time, to think about it like, hey, look where I am individually right now? I know it's a team sport, and I know you care about your teammates and winning, but have you thought about that?
I reflect on it a little bit after the game on Sundays. I see the records that I've broken, but I can't think too long about it because at the end of the day, it's another game to play. So I probably won't think about the records or the stats that I've broken until after the season. But this focus is just trying to figure out how I can help my team win.
Thanks, Dwayne.
No problem.
Dwayne, thanks again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in Indianapolis this weekend.
Thank you.
And next up on the teleconference is Ohio State senior wide receiver Terry McLaurin. McLaurin has 31 receptions for 591 yards this season, along with 9 receiving touchdowns and helping the Buckeyes to reach the Big Ten championship game. Terry, thanks for joining us. If you could, give us some quick opening comments on Saturday's matchup, and then we'll open the call for media questions.
We have an opportunity to win back-to-back Big Ten championships. We've had some struggles up and down this year, but I feel like we were coming off our best game collectively, offense, defense, and special teams, and we're looking forward to the challenge of winning another Big Ten championship.
Thanks, Terry. Let's take questions from the media.
If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Your first question is from Austin Ward, Letterman Row.
Hey, Terry, we all know how important you and Paris and Johnny are in terms of leadership as captains and all that. How much of it do you guys feel like needed to come from Dwayne and the quarterback as the season progressed, and how did he handle that role as you guys got later in the year?
I really like that question because a lot of people put a lot of not the stress, but the emphasis on us 3 older guys and 5th-year seniors being the leaders of the team. But it's very important to have your leader, the guy who's heading your offense and possibly one of the leaders on your team to be your quarterback, being one of the more vocal guys. And to see Dwayne's development over this course of the season from TCU when we had some up and down games throughout that game offensively, and now to see how he took charge against the team up north and how he just led our offense. I'm glad to see that he's always had the physical talent. I've never questioned that, but to see him be more vocal and take charge of our offense and our team is what you want to see going down the stretch.
Does it take time sometimes for these people to find their, like Dwayne, to let his personality out? Because it even feels like when he's talking to us that now he's saying that you guys want to go put on a show and he wants the best quarterback in Ohio State history. It seems like some of that confidence is coming out in him now.
Oh, definitely. As a leader, you always want to try to find your best way to lead, and depending on what kind of leaders we already have, or if you're more vocal, more demonstrative. But Dwayne knows what he brings to the table physically, but I know he wanted to make it more of an emphasis that he's invested in the standpoint of just being a leader and motivating young guys, motivating our offensive line, the defense if they're struggling, and just being more of the face of our team, not just with his athletic ability, but his leadership ability as well.
Thanks, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Your next question is from Tim May, Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, Terry, I was just wondering, as you guys played on Saturday, was there a sense that you guys had some answers for what Michigan was adjusting, defensively, even before Michigan adjusted? If you follow my drift, I mean, did it seem like y'all were ahead of the game, so to speak, the chess game or whatever you want to call it?
I definitely feel like we had an advantage. People don't appreciate we prepared for this game 365. We had periods during our camp that we're working on team up north and how we could get an advantage against them. So this wasn't just a week-long process. We actually went through this whole year just preparing for them and seeing how we could get an edge from the weight room to off the field. But Coach Day in the offensive staff did a great job. After we came up the win from Maryland, he said we were going to be aggressive, and they had a plan from day one, and we were all locked in to execute that plan. As receivers and through the pass game, we knew we were going to get man coverage. And with Dwayne, how the offensive line protected the receivers we had, we knew we had that advantage. If our offensive line gave Dwayne the time to throw the ball, and they did a great job.
And you sense, there will be y'all will unveil even some more new wrinkles this week. Y'all seem to have added a new wrinkle to your passing game or two every week. Do you sense that's going to happen this week? And what do you think of Northwestern's defense especially?
Well, this week I definitely anticipate that we'll continue to build on our most previous weeks. Maryland, we took a lot of shots. We really executed our crossers, and we took some shots last week. And then we have our run game going pretty good right now. So I feel like we have a balance. We put a lot of stuff on film that teams have to account for. And I feel like we're doing a great job of executing the game plan that our coach is putting in front of us. And, I'm actually about to watch Northwestern right now, but from what I've talked to Coach Hartline and Coach Myers, they kind of pride themselves on a bend-don't-break defense. Mm-hmm. And so we're really going to have to execute our spacing. It's going to have to be critical in zone coverage. And if we get one-on-one matchups, we just have to make our plays downfield.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Your next question is from Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hi, Terry. Urban said yesterday that he was going to meet with the leaders and he was really going to be hard on you guys this week to make sure that you stay focused and don't get overconfident after the Michigan win. Just what has his message been to you guys in the past couple of days?
I'll probably get to see him in the next, probably after I get off this call. So, but yesterday he preached to the team after we had our victory meal, which is what we have after we have a win. This game's over, and how great it was for our fan, our team, our confidence. We have to focus on our next mission. And so we celebrated yesterday, but as soon as we walked out those doors, it was on to Northwestern. So everybody's in, getting their bodies right, trying to get the game plan for this weekend. It's a new test, a new team, different type of scheme. So they have our full undivided attention.
As a leader, what are the things that you do to make sure that your teammates turn the page and that they're fully focused on what they need to do this week?
You can really tell going into practice, if you get a chance to speak in front of the team before practice or get the vibe of everybody, that was a great win. And we've had great wins in the past, and sometimes we came out slow that next game because it's kind of like that hangover. But my job as a leader is to make sure that doesn't happen, put the emphasis on, we knew how critical last week was to get to this point. And if we want to have any aspirations of winning this game and to possibly go further, then we have to put all our energy and focus into this game. And, motivation won't be a problem because there's a championship on the line.
Thanks, Terry.
No problem.
Your next question is from Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Hi, Terry. How special will this game be, considering you are obviously from Indianapolis and you get to finish your Big Ten career there with the kind of season that you've had?
It's very exciting. This is my last year playing at Ohio State, and to be one of my final games in the place where I grew up with, where I've had success in high school and college, I was able to be a part of two Big Ten championships, and to have my family there is going to be great. But the best way to celebrate, in my opinion, is to win. And whether I have a big game or not is not really my focus. It's just making sure we're prepared as a team, and then make sure we get this win. But playing in front of my hometown, 15 minutes from where I live, is definitely special.
And what's at stake. It's a Big Ten championship, but it's also you have a greater goal in addition. How important do you think it is for you guys to put your absolute best foot forward this week for the selection committee?
I think it's very important. In situations like this, it's great to get the win because you have a conference championship in your belt. But it's pretty obvious that the committee looks on how you beat teams and how you look collectively offensive and defensive. So we just want to build on last week. I feel like we have really good momentum going into this game. Northwestern is going to present their challenges, but I feel like if we can execute at a high level and just worry about winning the game, then that's us focusing on what we can control.
Thanks, Terry.
No problem.
We have time for one final question.
Your final question is from Doug Lemary from Cleveland.com.
Terry, if you had to guess, how do you think committee members think of Ohio State right now with what you guys have done through 12 games?
I feel like, up until last week, they probably thought we were, there's some inconsistencies, whether they want to say our defense or our offense can run the ball, things like that. We've heard it all, and we just try to focus on getting better each and every week. At the end of the day, we've been winning games, so that's what really matters. I feel like we've shown improvement on all sides of the ball, and even in our kicking game has been a big difference. But to have the performance that we had last week against top defense and one of the top 4 teams, I feel like makes a big statement. So we hope that holds weight, but at the end of the day, we got to focus on this one this weekend, trying to get this game, because without winning this game, then there's no chance of playing further. So in the playoffs.
And Terry, what do you think this passing game will be like on a fast track indoors?
We actually love Lucas Oil Stadium. The turf is great. Like you said, it's a really fast field, and we hope to use our speed to an advantage. I haven't really got the chance to watch Northwestern yet, but one thing I know about our offense and where we show advantages is when we get our fast guys in space, our O-line is playing downhill, and we run with some tempo, and I feel like that's tough for teams to handle, and we just got to continue to build on that going into the game on Saturday.
Thanks, Terry.
No problem.
Terry, thanks again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you this weekend in Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good one.
And next up on the teleconference is Ohio State junior defensive tackle Dre'Mont Jones. Jones leads the Buckeyes in tackles for a loss with 12 and sacks with 7.5 in 2018. He was also an All-Big Ten performer last season. Dre'Mont, thanks for joining us today. If you could, give us some quick opening comments on Saturday's game, and then we'll open the call for media questions.
Okay. I am super excited for Zion, and I can't wait to add another monument to my legacy.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dre'Mont. Let's open the call for media questions at this time.
If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Your first question is from Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Dre'Mont, Urban said on Sunday that he's talked to you guys as leaders about making sure that you turn the page and that you prepare just as hard for this game. Just what's his message been like to the team over the past couple of days?
Kind of like what you just said. I mean, he talked about us being elite warriors, and when elite warriors do, we celebrate the victory, and we immediately turn around to focus on our next mission.
Being a leader, what do you feel like your responsibility is in terms of making sure that everybody does focus and put in the work they need to do this week?
I feel like I just have to align my goals and align my habits and kind of just bring them with the team and just kind of lead this team into the victory because, now that nigga's done, I've been the focus of the D-line trying to lead, and I'm ready to take on that challenge.
Thanks very much.
Again, if you'd like to ask a question, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. And your next question is from Tim May, Columbus Dispatch.
Thank you very much. Hey, Dre'Mont, I'm just wondering, it's kind of maybe an odd question, but do you feel like this team gained a new impetus after Saturday, the way you guys performed? I mean, do you sense something a little bit different about the atmosphere now than maybe a week ago?
Especially because last week, before this game, people were counting us out. We had no shot at being in the playoffs. We had a terrible defense, inconsistent offense, whatever people wanted to say. And I feel like Saturday we kind of just proved what we're capable of doing, like we've been saying all year.
Yeah. And the other thing, I don't know how much video you've gotten to watch yet of Northwestern. I know you know of Northwestern, but when I say Northwestern, what kind of comes to mind from a football standpoint?
From a football standpoint, I feel like Northwestern has a good balance between the run and pass game. I mean, I feel like they have a really good quarterback back there. I think he's probably one or two best quarterbacks we'll play this year, and he has a great arm and has the ability to run. We have to be very proud of what we do.
Thank you, man.
Your next question is from Ari Wasserman, The Athletic.
Hey, Dre'Mont. Obviously, you made your decision last year to return. You could have been in the NFL right now. At the end of this year, having playoff discussions on this call, beating Michigan again, being in the discussion to maybe win or compete for a national championship, what do you think of your decision to return? Is this what you hoped for? And just analyze now, just that entire decision and how tough that might have been for you.
I mean, selfishly, this is what I hope for, just to improve and create more production for myself. But, I mean, my mindset is always about the team first, and I always wanted to come back and just try to get a chance to go to the playoffs to win a national championship, and that's been my main focus since I came back in January.
So being in this position now where you guys are playing in a game, you're in the playoff debate, did things come together the way you hoped? Is this like are you feeling the reward of that right now?
And everything's coming together in my checklist. And, I mean, one was to, beat 2 more North. We did that, and now it's to get a Big Ten championship ring, and we're on the goal to that now.
Thanks very much.
Your next question is from Taylor Ashbrook, Buckeye Beat Report.
Hey, Dre'Mont. So Terry just said when he was asked about how the committee has maybe viewed you guys here in the past several weeks, he talked about inconsistencies. How much of an emphasis is being put this week on putting together again that consistent defensive performance that you guys did last week? Not just to win against Northwestern, but to make that final statement for a case to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that emphasis has to be enhanced even more. I mean, our goal last week was kind of just turn up the knob and play the game as if it was 0-0, no matter what the score was. No matter about 20, 30, 40, 50, we had to play like the game was 0-0. And now that we know that we're capable of achieving what we just did Saturday, we know we have to enhance it beyond that to convince the committee to go to the playoffs.
Thanks, Dre'Mont.
Again, if you'd like to ask a question, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. And your next question is from Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Dre'Mont, the defensive performance, I mean, he gave up 39 points, but it was still a great defensive performance. What was the key to it, you think? What did you guys want to emphasize more than anything else last week, especially that can carry through?
Just playing with that dog mentality. I mean, we went into the game saying that, this game doesn't have to be close. I mean, we have to prove to everybody that we can dominate, and I think we did an excellent job doing that Saturday.
In particular, linebackers, Malik Harrison played great. Obviously you're a defensive lineman, but could you kind of address how the linebackers played?
I feel like they played in a way to prove everybody wrong. I mean, people have created a lot of problems. Not created a lot of problems, but people have kind of talked about our linebacker unit all season. I feel like Saturday was one of those games where they shut them lost everybody that were doubters.
Thanks, Dre'Mont.
And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, simply press star, then the number 1.
Dre'Mont, thanks again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in Indianapolis.
Look forward to you.